see that we falling off lately. Maybe we just ain't been on the same page. In my mind,
Hi, how are you guys? Wait, I look a little. Could do some fixing. Give me a second. Okay, much better. So, you saw the title of this video. I will be getting into just my general opinion about how my freshman semester went, my opinion on the school, my little tips and knickknacks on what I think that I would have liked to know before I came, and just general knowledge that I gained my first semester. So, yeah, I go to Virginia State University. I am a marketing major. Absolutely love my major. Okay, so the first thing I really want to get into is basically like my first impressions when I got there. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. When I applied to VSU, it was a joke. Not even gonna lie. When I applied, I didn't think nothing was gonna happen from it. It was just like, oh, this is interesting. I'm gonna click on it. Like, it was just out of curiosity. And then I get the email back, yada yada yada. They accept me, cool. So a few weeks later, I get an email, them telling me I got their presidential scholarship and I'm in the honors college, and I'm like, wow. No other school had offered me anything like that. So it intrigued me, and even though I had never been to Virginia, I had never seen the school, I committed. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that to everybody. Thank God it worked out for me. Best decision I could have ever made. But yeah, so the first time I went to school was orientation. Fell in love immediately. The people, the place, the energy at the campus. Shout out to Tip. They're amazing. Love them. Love Tip. But moving on, once I actually got to campus, again, I just loved the environment. I loved the weather. I loved it was just a beautiful like place and energy. So yeah, I would definitely say that. Once my parents actually left and my family left, I will say that it got a little bit hard at times. All of my friends, they all went to FSU, so they're all together, except for one. We're both in Virginia, which is really funny to me, but it was just a little hard to really sit and like understand that I'm alone now. Like, I have to do this on my own. And that was really like one of the first times I ever had to deal with anything like that. So of course there was a little there was a little sadness. You know, I cried a few nights. I think the most important thing you have to remember is that your family's one call away. You just gotta pick up the phone. Your friends, they're one call away. So yeah, that was a little rough for me. But once you get used to like the energy on campus, the constantly doing things, like you'll be fine. Another thing I want to touch on, very like, this is with any place you go, anywhere in life, you're gonna like peep this. Well, I'm hoping somebody would. If you wouldn't, this should be like an eye opener for you. People aren't people I can't think of the word. There's so many different kinds of people on this earth. And at a place like college, you usually will see like a lot of different types of people. Everybody is not your kind of person. I'm gonna just put it like that. A lot of people do a lot of things. Some of the things you're gonna look at it, you're gonna be like, but you just gotta keep it pushing. So it's just mind your business. Unless it's something crazy, then don't mind your business. But like, I just have never seen like so many. It's interesting. You're not gonna get along with everybody. I learned that very quick. I knew I could look at people and know exactly who I would want to be around and would not. So that wasn't an issue for me, but hey. Okay, so those were basically my first impressions of the school. There's probably a lot more. I could probably do a whole separate video just on that, but I'm gonna get into like my classes now because that was a pretty, I'm not gonna say like difficult, but it was a pretty like different thing for me. I did finish my first semester with a 4.0. Yay. I'm not gonna tell you it was a walk in the park because it never is, ever. The first thing I want to really touch on is like at VSU. So the first few weeks of class are mandatory. I'm in the business college, so really all of my classes are mandatory. Like they always take attendance, no matter what's going on. So, I got my, when you come into VSU as a freshman, unless you have like credits already from another college or something, which I did, but that's the only time I heard of people like being able to change their schedule. But unless you have that, you get a schedule handed to you by the admissions off or the whoever does the scheduling. But they make a schedule for you. Unless you have already taken a class or anything, you really can't get out of those classes in those times. So I ended up with an 8 a.m. That was a little rough. Not a little, that was very rough. I probably went to that class like 40% of the time that the class was being held. Not gonna lie. It's just I think once you figure out how to manage your sleep and your like activities and all that, it gets easier. For me personally, that 8 a.m. just wasn't gonna do it. I know I'm not a morning person. I know that. Like, I've been through trial and error already with that. There's nothing that will make me a morning person. I'm just not a morning person. So yeah, that was a struggle. But I came out on top. Even though I wasn't in that class every day, I did that homework. There was no late submissions on that work. That work was done. Like, he might not have seen my face, but he knew that name when it popped up in that grave book. Listen. But anyway, so just classes wise, I'd say just my whole thing with it was just get your work done, and that worked out. Just making sure you do your assignments, making sure you turn stuff in on time, making sure you're not putting anything else on top, or you putting it higher on your hierarchy of things to do than your homework. Making sure your grades are good, checking them regularly, checking your email regularly, just staying on top of everything that's going on. I think that's super important, because if you're not making sure you're checking these messages, reading these things these teachers send you, because they do send a lot of emails, then it's just harder for you to keep up with the class in general, and it'll be harder to get the grades you want. Communication is everything. But yeah, the work isn't hard. My mindset with working in general, like, I'm like, okay, in 24 hours I won't remember like doing this. Like, you know how much homework I did this semester? I probably remember like 2 assignments. So my thought process, I'm just like, okay, I won't remember that I did this in 4 hours, so let's just get it done so I can forget about it. You feel me? So yeah, it wasn't like ridiculously stressful, but yeah, it'll definitely take you for a turn, especially if you haven't been to college before. Like I said, I was dual enrolled, so I did have a little experience already with like being in the college environment. So it wasn't super like crazy for me, but it was still stressful. But I feel like the stress that comes with it is helpful because it makes you like take things seriously. It makes you like actually do the things you're supposed to do because you're stressed. Like you just got to get it done. You want to get it done so you can go do what else you want to do. And yeah, but okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, the professors. I'm not gonna lie to you. You will have some like real cool teachers you really mess with, like you really mess with, bro. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of them do not care what you got going on. A lot of them do not care about whatever excuse you're trying to make. A lot of them don't care about what you got to say. You're just another face in the classroom. You're just a paycheck, like for real. And that's just how it is. You'll definitely be able to spot those teachers. And I think what my issue was is I just let it get to me. Like even though it shouldn't have, it just hurt my feelings that like I had to deal with somebody like this or whatever the case may be. But what really just got me through the class was making sure my work was done. So I know you don't like me, but you're gonna like that grade because that grade popping. But yeah, just make sure you keep up with the teacher. You keep up with their emails. You keep up with their office hours. You just keep up in general. That'll really save your life 10 times out of 11, 9 times out of 10, whatever it's called. Okay. So that was my take on my classes. Now we're gonna get into the activities, cause baby, it's always something going on, like, and I love that. Basically, like, there's so many organizations on campus. There's so much to do. You will always find something to do. Whatever you think of, we probably got it. And if we don't got it, you can make it. Like, there's so much that be going on. It's really easy to get wrapped up in all of the stuff that's going on. Like, there's so many events going on daily, so many people coming to visit the school, so many trips. Like, there's so much to do. My thing, I've always had an issue with like overstretching myself. I'm a big overachiever. So I'm always trying to get into anything that I can get into that I find interesting. And sometimes I just spread myself too thin. Like this one week I ran for Miss Freshman. I lost. Beautiful girl won. Love her. But that week was real stressful. I'm dealing with a pageant. I'm dealing with campaigning. I'm dealing with class. I'm dealing with like it was just a lot. So just be prepared. Like once you actually start getting into things, just make sure you got time to do those things. But yeah, that was a whole thing. That was a mess. When I first got to campus, I hadn't actually like toured there or been there before. I just went to orientation. So of course, getting around campus was super tricky. Them first like 2 weeks, I'd say. It was real interesting trying to figure out where everything was and stuff. Like that was a mess. So like getting used to your surroundings, walking around, like walking and doing your classes. What I mean by doing your classes is like walking your schedule before you actually have class. Maybe have like an upperclassman you're friends with, like drive you around so you can just see like where your classes are. I think that's super important because that's something that really helped me. So yeah, the dining halls. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you come into VSU because you hungry, don't do it. Don't do it. Our food, it's like here. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got the lowest meal plan, and I probably went to the dining halls like 15 times this semester. I ain't gonna lie. I eat out a lot because the food just so nasty. I'm already starving. Like I already can only eat once a day. I'm not gonna make myself, eat that nasty food. Yeah. I think not. I think not. Yeah, that if you coming for the food, baby, go home. So the next thing I want to talk about is basically like my general recommendations to anybody who's entering their first semester next year. These are kind of things I wish I knew and I wish like got touched up on more, because there's a lot of videos out there and there's a lot of people who give really good advice, but this is just some of the stuff that I felt was important. So the partying scene. Okay, I'm glad we have a thing for freshmen called Welcome Week at VSU. Basically, it's like a week long of introductions to the campus, the people. We have a lot of sit down meetings where they like explain to you the rules and they explain to you like what you're supposed to be doing and all this stuff. And that's like usually in the morning. And at nighttime, there's like talent shows, socials. Those are really just parties, but we call them socials. There's Wet and Wilds, like there's all types of stuff. That week was probably one of the funnest weeks. Nah, that's probably homecoming. I don't know. Homecoming, welcome, we got it, but those weeks, that welcome week was amazing. Such an amazing week. But honestly, I feel like welcome week helped me like get out all the partying that I wanted to do. It was like sanctioned by the school, so I felt safe. Like that's the most important thing for me when I'm going out. I want to feel safe. So yeah, once welcome week was over and people were still partying, people are always gonna party. But once you've been in like a few, hopefully everybody just realized this. It's really the same. You're seeing the same 50 people. They're playing the same 20 songs. And it's the same like 3 locations. I don't see what's so interesting about that, doing that like every weekend, but I quickly snapped out of that whole, oh, I want to party. Like it was fast. I was over it. Like, okay, let's get to the serious stuff. Because it just gets so boring so fast. So one thing I would say is just make sure you're not giving up something important like submitting assignment or talking to a friend or something like that. Like make sure you're not trading that for a party, because those parties are the exact same and there will be another one next weekend. Like you're not gonna die. You missing that one party, there was gonna be nothing. That party was nothing special. That party just happened millions of times. Like there will be another one. So just calm down and do what you gotta do. Another thing I want to say, back to like the people on campus, everybody not gonna be you're not gonna want to be around everybody. These people are trifling. I ain't even gonna lie. The stuff you be hearing, the stuff you be seeing, like everybody's not for you, and that's perfectly okay. I am extremely I found my person day one. I am so grateful for him. So grateful. I'm really lucky. I got my HBCU love story very first day. Like, so just make sure you're watching who you're around. Make sure you're watching who you're giving your energy to, because some of these people don't be having your best intentions at heart. So you just got to make sure you're watching out for yourself. And don't immediately start trusting everybody, because again, people don't have your best interest at heart all the time. Another thing I will say is do your homework, please. That's why you came to college, I hope. But do your homework. Okay. Another thing with that. Also, try to go to class as much as you can. I have to, even me, I got to work on that next semester. I'm going to try for semi-perfect attendance, But yeah. When you're going to these parties and things and whatnot and walking into the gas station and just going anywhere that's not in your dorm, I would say get a travel buddy. Get somebody who gonna go with you. Get somebody who you trust to be around you. If you're a girl, I would say maybe look for a guy. Not saying you need to get like a boyfriend or anything. Just look for somebody who, if something happens, you got some protection. Like, if that makes sense. Again, I'm super lucky. Sorry, super lucky. Found this amazing person. So anytime I'm going somewhere, he's with me. I don't even gotta ask. He's there. Where are you going? Where are we going? Like, it's like that type of, yeah. But just making sure you're safe, making sure you're never alone, because that's when most of the bad things happen, when people are alone. Try traveling in groups if that's what you gotta do. Like, because VSU, I wouldn't say it's the safest place, to be honest. A lot of stuff do be going on. That's a whole nother video. But overall, I'd give my first semester at VSU a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed myself. Grades came out really well. And I just wanted to share some information with you guys that I wish I had known, and just give you like my personal opinion on how my first semester went. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Next video I probably put out will be back at school. So I'll see you guys then. I leave in 3 days. 3 days. Okay. I'm a little excited. Spring semester. Okay. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. Bye.